He was always such a happy little boy. Bradley's mum was looking straight at Cassie, but her pupils were wide and unfocused, her thoughts miles away. His Year 1 teacher used to call him Sunshine, she added, a sudden smile bringing her tear-blurred features into focus. A fervent hope gripped Cassie, that Mrs. Appleton was remembering her son aged 5 or 6, on a trike, laughing. Anything rather than the image she would forever have of the 15-year-old Bradley, lying on his bed, with the cord of his laptop tight around his neck, half suspended from the light fitting on the wall above his head. The two women were sitting in the mortuary's family viewing suite, close enough for their knees to touch. I just don't understand it. Kim Appleton blinked, bumping back down to reality. He didn't seem unhappy. He never mentioned bullying or anything. I mean, he would have told me. Wouldn't he? We always got on. Her gaze flickered to her husband, Steve, ceaselessly prowling the pastel-painted room like a man looking for someone to punch. As well as you'd expect, anyway, with a teenage boy. Cassie's only response was an understanding murmur. 5 years as a mortuary technician had taught her that what grieving relatives needed was a sounding board, not conversation. Anyway, what could she possibly say that would offer any consolation? For whatever reason, Bradley Appleton had ended his life before it had really begun. The selfish little twat. But her spurt of anger dissolved swiftly into pity. It was only 10 years since Cassie had been Bradley's age herself, struggling to stay afloat in an emotional maelstrom, the not knowing who you were yet, intractably at odds with the world. A 15-year-old was barely able to grasp the consequences of his actions, let alone foresee the brutal and unassuageable grief he had bequeathed to his parents. A life sentence, with no chance of parole. That morning, Cassie had retrieved Bradley from the refrigerated body store and made him look nice, ready for his mum and dad's visit. Now he lay out of sight behind the curtained glass doors that bisected the viewing room. When his parents were ready, she would draw back the drapes to reveal his body, the dark red coverlet pulled up high enough to cover the ligature mark that creased his neck. She would encourage them to go in, to be close to him, to touch him if they wanted to. The shrinks said that it helped with the grieving process. It was important not to rush things, to give his mum and dad time to prepare for the finality of that moment.